halfway through the video, he tried to kiss me. Hey guys, welcome back to my shitty ass channel.
It's about a special type of girl. We call her KarleeSteel.
So today we have another story time. It's Monday, which means I upload every Monday if you haven't already figured that out. I've been kind of bringing back story time since I know that a lot of people are into them, and it's kind of where my channel kind of started, is with story times, so I thought I would continue them. Before I get this started, I have a couple announcements. If you guys don't know, my boyfriend Josh, also known as J Bish, uploads a new song every other Monday. So if you guys haven't went and checked out his new music, just type in J Bish on Spotify and you can hear it there. I uploaded a Patreon video today of me doing my Get Ready With Me. And there's also a podcast out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Me and Josh have a podcast every single Monday. It's called Glass Up. And then also, there is a new video on me and Josh's channel. It's called Karlee and Josh. So yeah. Oh my god, my elastic just broke while in my hair. It's called Karlee. Did you guys just fucking see that? I thought there was a ghost. Is there a ghost? Okay, so I fixed my hair. That was weird as fuck. Yeah, so anyways, give this a thumbs up and let's get started. So if you guys haven't checked out my last story time, go check that out, and then also check out my last video, which is a fundraiser for the Black Lives Matter movement. Go check that out and let's get started. So this story time, as you can tell by the title, is a story that is kind of confusing, kind of weird. I wish I could say names, but I can't. So this story time is about the time where my friend's boyfriend is in love with me, and it was a huge thing, and it's kind of weird, and I'm gonna explain it. So let's start this out with, he's a fellow YouTuber, and we were actually friends before me and this girl were friends. So I was friends with him first. We've always hung out, like normally we've hung out by ourselves, we've gone with other people, and everything was always normal. When I became single and broke up with my last boyfriend, he basically messaged me and confessed his love for me. He was like, I've always been into you, you're so pretty. Like, so in between me and him being friends and me and my last boyfriend breaking up, me and the girl became friends. So me and his girlfriend became friends, if that makes any sense. She is not a YouTuber, she doesn't even have a YouTube channel. So let me break down this timeline. I was friends with this guy, broke up with my boyfriend, he confessed his love for me. In between this time, I became like, I guess not friends, but acquaintances with this other girl, and we became kind of close in between the time of me and my last boyfriend breaking up and then her boyfriend confessing his love. So we were friends, I guess, in between. I wouldn't say that we're good friends, like I wouldn't just like hang out with her and just like call her up, but we've hung out in mutual groups. We were kind of good friends, like she would swipe up on my stories sometimes. She doesn't even have a YouTube channel, so we didn't really have much in common, and I was way better friends with her boyfriend than I was with her. So he basically confessed his love to me, and he was like, a businesswoman, and you have a channel, and blah blah blah, and you're so pretty, and blah blah blah. And I was like, okay. I thought, and he was drunk, so I was just like, okay, he's just drunk, like I'm just gonna ignore it. And I also knew that him and his girlfriend always had problems, and I didn't really want to get myself involved that much because I wasn't like a really close friend with him, but I wasn't like an acquaintance either. Like we were normal friends, and then me and her were kind of just like acquaintances slash kind of friends. So I didn't want to put myself in that situation, but part of me felt so guilty that I wanted to tell her, but he was drunk, and so I kind of just forgot about it and kind of distanced myself from him. I didn't hang out with him or anything after that. I kind of just forgot about it. I ended up going to Texas. I ended up going to Florida, which is where he is from, and I was just there to hang out with a friend, and I was actually there to see Nick Ocado. He had an Airbnb there, and we did videos, and I was just there for him, and he ended up being there at the exact same time. And he messaged me, and he was like, hey, are you in the area? Like, let's do a video together. Because we always wanted to do a video together, but at the time, the boyfriend I was dating wouldn't really, it's not that he wouldn't allow me, it was kind of just like, it felt awkward doing videos with other guys. I don't know why, but I was single, and I was ready, so I was like, sure, let's do a video together. He never talked to me or flirted with me since the moment that he like confessed his love, but he was drunk, so I just thought like nothing of it really. So we ended up hanging out, and we did a video, and it was a drinking video. It was basically like you have to answer the question or you have to take a shot. So we were sitting there, and we both ended up like getting completely drunk because we didn't want to answer a lot of the questions. So we started drinking, and we basically just kept drinking and drinking and drinking, and we got a little tipsy, and there were some other people there. Halfway through the video, he tried to kiss me on camera, and I was like, what the fuck? I am not kissing you on camera. This is super awkward. I kind of like backed away and was kind of like, I thought it was kind of like a joke, like for the camera. So I was just like, ha 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 ha, whatever, kind of laughed it off. The video was done. We turned off the camera, and we were kind of all just chilling. It was like me, him, and like 3 other people, his friends. They were also YouTubers. I'm also friends with them, and we're all hanging out. As the night got on, he kept trying to get closer and closer and closer with me. And at this point, I felt super awkward because I knew he had a girlfriend, and I also just was not really into him like that. So it was kind of awkward for me. I kind of ignored his like flirty joke. And so he kept flirting with me, and I kind of ignored the joke because I was just like, haha, like whatever. 2 of the guys end up going in their room, and then it's just me, him, and then his friend. So it's just us 3 now. And we're just hanging out, whatever. And they're kind of, I forget what they were talking about. Honestly, I forget what they were talking about. Sorry, my camera just fell. I honestly forget what they were talking about because I was like, you know, kind of drunk myself, so I kind of forgot. And I don't really remember it, if I'm gonna be honest. Like, I try to remember the most for these story times, but it's really hard. And I think the more drunk that we got, the more I started to realize something was off. And I don't know, like, I started to question myself. I was like, is he really trying to like actually get with me? Like, am I actually here for a video, or am I here for him to try and hook up with me? I started to question it a little bit because as the night got on, he just kept getting more and more flirty. And eventually he like makes a joke about like touching his dick or something. I literally started like tripping out. I was like, dude, like, I'm like, why are you talking to me like this? Like, why are you just constantly trying to get at me? And I started getting really upset, and I like went into his room and like shut the door, and he was like, he told his friends, he's like, oh my god, like, she's acting like such a bitch right now. And so my drunk ass was like, I don't tolerate a man calling me a bitch. You can call me annoying, you can call me whatever, but to call me a bitch because I didn't like the way that you were. And so I was the only girl there, so I felt super, super awkward. So I opened the door and I'm like, did you really just fucking call me a bitch right now in front of everyone? And he was like, yeah, well, you're acting like a fucking bitch over a fucking joke. And I was like, what the fuck? So I took all of my shit and I walked out, and I was crying, and I was like, this is fucking so embarrassing, so stupid. Like, there's literally YouTube drama right now. Like, this is so fucking stupid. So I left, and I called an Uber. I was standing outside of the apartment, and he had no shoes on, no clothes on. He was puking. He starts sprinting down the hallway, comes and gets me. He's like, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't know why I called you a bitch. Like, I'm just drunk. Like, I don't know. And I was like, I don't know. And I literally just snapped on him. I was like, I don't know what the fuck is up with you, but I am not someone that's gonna sit there, get disrespected like that, and then be called a bitch. So I started fucking losing it on him in the apartment, okay? He has no shoes on. He's throwing up. I'm drunk. I'm like, I fucking hate this night. Like, I hate it. And I was like going crazy, and I was not even home. I was in Florida, so I'm calling Nick Ocado, and I'm like, oh my god, Nick, like, you need to come help me. Like, and he wasn't letting me leave. He was like blocking the door. He's like, you're not leaving, you're not leaving, you're not leaving. And I'm like, why do you not want me to leave? He's like, you're not leaving. And I think it's because he like felt bad that he didn't want me to leave, and he kept trying to hug me, and I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, I'm leaving, dude. Like, I'm fucking leaving. And I'm like in Florida, so it's like hot. I don't know where the fuck I am. I'm calling Nick Ocado. He's not answering because he's filming a video, and I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck? I end up just being like, whatever, fine. I go back upstairs with him, and he's sitting there, and he kind of like just turned really, really nice, but it was so awkward for me to go back up there when his friends just heard me yell. He just called me a bitch in front of all of them. Like, I just felt just like super awkward, questioning everything. I'm sitting there kind of in the corner while they're all talking and having fun, and Nick Ocado finally answers. He calls me an Uber, and I go back home, and I'm just like, dude, what the fuck just happened? I thought I was going over there for like collab purposes, like that's genuinely what I thought, and then just to hang out after, but it turned into something so much more than that, and it really, really made me feel awkward and confused, and I felt like, I was like, am I really here for a video, or was he just trying to get me here to get me drunk and try to hit on me? I thought about everything that happened, and I was like, dude, like, why was I crying? Why was he crying? Like, we barely like know each other, and we're fucking crying over each other. Like, it was just fucking weird. And then Nick Ocado, like, I go back home and I start crying to Nick Ocado, and he's like, oh my god, Karlee, what's wrong? And I'm like, told him the story and he was like, holy shit, that's so fucked up. He's like, yeah, like I wouldn't go back there again. He's like, honestly, like, cause I filmed a video for my channel with him also. He's like, I wouldn't even upload your video with him. Like at this point, like it was not even business. It's not even worth putting the collab out. Like this was so fucked. And I was like, I know. And so I had another YouTube friend in Florida and we all wanted to go to a party, and my YouTube friend was with his girlfriend who I'm an acquaintance with, right? So it was kind of us three girls. And I felt really awkward. I didn't even know she was gonna be there. So she invited me to a party. We go to this party and then his girlfriend and him end up being there at that party. And she ends up wanting to hang out with me and my other YouTube friend. So it's like us three, and I feel super awkward at this point because I know what happened the night before and she doesn't. And it made me feel like I felt catty. I felt like one of those girls who was like backstabbing a girl, and I just felt really uncomfortable. So we're all hanging out, and then her boyfriend comes along, which is the guy that I did a video with that cried over me, that confessed his love, whatever. We're all hanging out and it just was so awkward the whole time because me and him just like knew what happened the night before, but we didn't say anything. And we kind of like just avoided each other, and we were kind of just like in the same group. We weren't even looking at each other. We were acting like nothing happened. And eventually the guilt inside of me just added up so much, and I didn't want to tell her at the party and embarrass her and make her argue with him in front of everyone. As we're leaving the party, I pull her aside as my Uber is waiting, because I'm like, I'm telling her I'm getting in this Uber because I don't want to be here for this drama. I don't want to see her get mad at him. I don't want him to get mad at me for telling her. So we're all standing outside of the party, and I pull her aside and I start talking to her, and I could see her boyfriend staring at her because I could tell that he knew that I was gonna tell her. Like he knew like the moment, like imagine like your boyfriend and like some guy that you were just flirting with the night before were talking to each other like secretly, like you would fucking flip. I pull her aside and I tell her, and she gets so mad and she starts crying, and I felt so bad. I was like, oh my God, but I needed to tell her because I felt like I did something wrong, because I didn't want to end up looking like the bitch that went behind her back, hung out with her boyfriend, did all this, got drunk with him, and then never told her and just made her look stupid in front of everyone, you know? Like I didn't want to be that girl. So I decided to just tell her straight up, and I told her the whole truth, and it was nothing but the truth. I genuinely thought I was going there for a video. That's what I thought. I told her about everything, and then I hopped in my Uber and left, okay? My other YouTuber friend was still at that party, and so she saw what happened after I left. The girlfriend went up to her boyfriend and fucking lost her shit. She started hitting him and like punching him and spitting on him and flipping out. I think it's because they were both drunk, so it got even worse. And they were arguing in front of the whole entire party, and I was like, thank God I wasn't there, because I would have felt so fucking awkward. I felt so bad for her to begin with. And then the cops ended up coming and taking her away. She spent the night in jail for domestic violence because she was just beating the shit out of him, and I felt like it was my fault. It was so crazy. It was just a lot. It was so crazy. The story time really isn't that interesting, but it was so like shocking to me that a guy could be in a relationship with a girl and still like cry over another girl and fight for another girl when he didn't even really know me. Like that just really confuses me. It's like, dude, you have a whole girlfriend. Like, why are you crying and chasing after a girl that isn't your girlfriend, you know? Like that just made me feel really awkward and uncomfortable. One thing is girl code. Don't hang out with people's boyfriends, even if you think it's for business purposes, because it's fucking weird. And I wish I would have told her right when I was going there and had her be present there. But honestly, I thought I was just going there for a video and I was gonna leave. Like that's just how YouTube works. Like that's what I thought. I guess I'm in the wrong for going there to begin with without telling her, but that was my story time. If you guys enjoyed this crazy fucking story time, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Maybe I'll do a funny story time next, because these ones aren't that funny. These are kind of serious and kind of drama filled. If you guys want a funny story time next week, let me know. Also, I'm thinking of doing like a FashionNova wedding dress try on haul. I don't know. If you guys enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I love you guys so much. See you next Monday, and see you every other day on the Karlee and Josh channel, and see you on Patreon every Tuesday and Thursday. I love you guys so much, and stay confident. Mwah. Bye, beautifuls.